Hi, I'm James Cosgrove. I'm a director in the healthcare group in GAO, and the report that I worked on has to do with transparency in the pricing of implantable medical devices. Well, the reason that we were asked to do the report was in part there was concern that the pricing for these devices was not transparent, that some of the contracts that hospitals sign when they purchase these include non-disclosure provisions in them, which means that the pricing for these is just not very well known. And so there were concerns that Medicare ultimately is helping to finance the purchase of these, and the interest was to try to understand how much Medicare was spending and how this market worked. Well, as a supply cost, as a portion of their supply cost, it's very significant. I don't have a breakdown in terms of percentages. Well, in 2009, it was over $19 billion was spent on procedures that involved implantable medical devices. That's a lot of money. Well, it had been growing a little more than 4% a year, which is about in line with what other hospital procedures have been growing at. But again, I mean, it's $19 billion is a lot of money. Well, we looked at primarily cardiac implantable devices and orthopedic devices, and on the inpatient side, orthopedic was growing significantly faster than the cardiac devices. Part of that has to do with the fact that over the course of this time period, some of the cardiac procedures shifted from an inpatient setting to the outpatient setting. But from 2004 to 2009, certainly in terms of expenditures, we saw the largest growth in terms of the orthopedic devices. Well, the market for implantable medical devices, I mean, the first thing to understand is that hospitals are the ones that are purchasing these devices. We were asked to look at it because ultimately some of those hospital costs are passed along to Medicare, so Medicare is helping to finance these. And hospitals contract either directly with device manufacturers, or sometimes they work through group purchasing organizations, GPOs, to try to help obtain a more favorable price. We did find that there were factors that made it sometimes difficult for hospitals to get the best price. Certainly that included things like the non-disclosure elements in the contracts, so that hospitals would be aware of what they were paying, but it was difficult for them to benchmark to know whether they were getting a good deal or not. And the fact that these devices are often what's called a physician preference item, so that physicians may develop a relationship with a manufacturer rep, gain confidence in one brand of device over another, appreciate the fact that that manufacturer's rep is going to be with them and help walk them through the procedure and answer questions. They all may also have a relationship with the device manufacturer in terms of consulting, and just familiar with the device and are comfortable with the way that it works. So hospitals, in trying to accommodate physicians' desires to have particular devices, have their bargaining hand weakened to some degree. Well, in terms of pricing for cardiac stents, I mean, we have heard from discussions with manufacturers that stents have become much more of a commodity. And so that those, unlike maybe some of the other devices, are purchased more on price. When the drug-eluting stents came out, that's the type of stent that we looked at, the price for the bare metal stents went down dramatically. But beyond that, I don't have any more recent information. We collected that information from a number of hospitals, and for the drug-eluting stents, the median price was somewhere in the range of $1,700 to $1,800. We found substantial variation, though, comparing the same brand among different hospitals. We found that one hospital was paying $800 more than another hospital for the very same stent. We only looked at a point in time. We asked hospitals to report what they were currently paying, and that was very difficult actually for hospitals to be able to report for a variety of reasons. So I don't have information on pricing trends, just what prices hospitals paid at a point in time. Well, in this report we really wanted to bring to the attention of policymakers what the issue was. We didn't make a formal recommendation in the report. Certainly there have been calls over time on the Hill for greater transparency in healthcare in general, not just in implantable medical devices.